Among the many faithful attending this Catholic procession in Cieza, Spain, is José Antonio Fernández. Once a priest, he sacrificed that status in order to marry. The church allowed him to continue working as a schoolteacher, but later refused to renew his contract after a photo of him and his family appeared in the media.
They exploited the situation to justify my dismissal. They said parents would be offended if they found out I was a married priest. That was a lie. The parents all knew me after all.
He always talked openly about his situation to his pupils, but renouncing his faith was never an issue. He was hoping for a positive move from the church, possibly from Pope Benedict XVI. José Antonio was aware, however, of the Vatican's traditional reluctance towards change.
Ideas that challenge the norm are usually considered an attack on the church and its teachings. This is not an attack. It's just about thinking differently.
And that way of thinking was harshly criticized by the Pope during his visits to Spain. The Spanish government's implementation of sweeping reforms to civil society has been a major source of irritation to the Vatican. In 2005, Spain became the third country in Europe to allow homosexuals to marry and to adopt children. It's a development that Jesus is particularly proud of. He lived through General Franco's homophobic dictatorship, but as a gay man and devout Catholic, the Pope's words were deeply hurtful.
We are people who have rights, and we have to insist on them. We don't need the Pope preaching to us in Spain about our own decisions.
There are two sides to contemporary Spain, liberal and conservative. The latter includes Opus Dei, a special arm of the Catholic Church founded in Madrid in the 1920s. It has substantial influence at the many schools that its members run. The Pope's statements are most welcome here.
These reforms are unfortunate, and the Church has to make clear its position. Thank God we can express our opinions openly and have the opportunity to question whether these laws are appropriate.
Just 12% of Spaniards go to Mass, but most still want to attend weddings, First Communions, and other ceremonies. A dilemma for the Church.
Spaniards are Catholics, but not practicing. All we did was inherit the faith.
And still associated with that faith is the Franco regime, which the Church supported. It's a legacy that continues to cause much soul-searching among Catholics.
This is about a separation of the heart and the mind. At heart, the Catholic Church is part of a long family tradition, but the mind tells us something completely different.
Among the Catholic Church's new strategies to boost its appeal is the concept of community churches. Their work focuses on providing help for the homeless, unemployed, or disadvantaged.
I have to steal because I'm hungry. I have to squat in an apartment. I have to break the law.
Many of the faithful who attend community churches feel forgotten by the Vatican. And the priests themselves want to see reform.
I'm increasingly seeing a church of the people for ordinary residents, prison inmates, refugees, and people who have been evicted. Then we have a hierarchical church wielding all the power, and which is currently far more concerned with who will be the next pope than caring for the victims of our capitalist system.
The Second Vatican Council in the 1960s marked a major renewal of the Catholic Church. For today's community priests, it was a positive step, but one that the Church has failed to consolidate. Former priest Jose Antonio does not expect the new pope to repeal the celibacy requirement for the clergy. Meanwhile, his personal fight continues. He has taken his dismissal case to the European Court of Human Rights.
My problem is not the Pope, but the papacy. Benedict XVI is retiring because he's surrounded by a pack of wolves. It's a battle he can't win. And the next Pope will have to face up to a church government that has more power than the Pope himself.
Nevertheless, Jose Antonio still refuses to give up hope. Hope that the Vatican will eventually respond positively to the secular changes in Spain. And who knows, perhaps even with a Spanish-speaking Pope at its helm.